Hi, this is Candace Fleming, and I'm super excited to share the first chapter of my new young adult nonfiction book called Death in the Jungle, Murder, Betrayal, and the Lost Dream of Jonestown. Chapter 1, One Weird Kid. The first time Jim Jones asked followers to play dead was on an autumn night in 1941. The 10-year-old urged the other boys to come on. They hesitated. Jimmy Jones wasn't a friend. Not really. Sure, they hung around with him, but they didn't like him. He was bossy and controlling, and he always got his way. But there was something magnetic about him, too. Somehow, he coaxed them into doing things they knew they shouldn't. Take the previous week, for example. They'd been playing in the loft over the Joneses' garage when Jimmy persuaded them to walk out on the rafters. They'd be like tightrope walkers in the circus, he said. His playmates went first, slowly, and in single file, because the rafters were so narrow. Jimmy sidled out behind them. One of the boys looked down. It was a long way to the floor, at least 10 feet. He tried to back off the rafter, but Jimmy wouldn't budge. "Move back," the boy yelled. "I can't move," declared Jimmy. "The angel of death is holding me." For several long moments, the boys teetered precariously on the rafters. They begged him to move. All the while, Jimmy watched them with a weird look on his face, recalled one of the boys. Then, finally, he claimed the angel had released him, and they all inched their way back to safety. Afterwards, the boys agreed Jimmy Jones was nuts. They swore never to play with him again. And yet, just days later, they were sneaking out with him. His gifts of persuasion had once again been impossible to ignore. Beneath a harvest moon, they followed their leader across the small town of Lynn, Indiana. No one noticed the little group. In those days, most of Lynn's citizens went to bed early. It didn't take long for the group to reach the warehouse on the edge of town. The boys stopped. What were they doing here? Jimmy sprinted to the warehouse door. It was unlocked. He beckoned to the others to follow. They could trust him. Trust? None of the others trusted Jimmy. Still, one by one, they slipped into the warehouse. Slowly, their eyes adjusted to the darkness, and they saw what was inside. Coffins, dozens of them. Jimmy opened the lid of one and climbed in. He insisted the others do the same. He instructed them just to lie there. That way, they might find out what it was like to be dead. He wiggled into position, arranged his hands across his chest, and closed his eyes. It was too much for his companions. Yelping with fear, they bolted from the warehouse, leaving Jimmy behind. He lay there alone, absorbed in morbid revelry. What happened to you after you had died? What did it feel like? And how would it feel if your soul was raised from the dead? The boy didn't find any answers that night, but he kept going back to the coffins. Despite Jimmy's magnetism, the other boys never returned with him. I want to say a special shout out to my librarian friends all across the country. Oh, you guys have had a really hard year this year, and I just want to send you my love and my admiration for keeping up the good fight and keeping faith. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.